All right, welcome to your pose of the week. This week we're taking a look at double pigeon. So this pose shows up quite a bit in our hips class. It is, you'll find the lateral rotation or the external rotation in our legs. So it's a really good one to practice if you're one of those folks that really has that goal of being able to comfortably sit cross-legged on the floor. So let's just get right on into it, and I will show you different modifications that you could try to make this pose work with your body. So remember, we don't want to force anything, but we want to get into the pose in a manner that we can feel the stretch, that we can feel the stretching tension. And with time and practice, you may find that you need to add more props and you need to take some away. So whatever you need to do to get to that, probably shoot for about a 7 out of 10 intensity here. So you want to use props or take props away so that you come up to that 7 out of 10 intensity and maintain that during the 5 minutes that you hold this pose, or the 2-3 minutes. So remember, you want to hold 2 to 5 minutes, 2 minutes at minimum, and then work your way up to 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and start getting into it, and then I can show you how to build around this pose with props. So first things first, just come into this comfortable seated position, a cross-legged seated position. And there's one thing you can check in with here. So first of all, know that coming here into this cross-legged position to work up towards this double pigeon is a perfect spot. I sat here probably for maybe almost a year or so before I started to work towards this this shape. This is for me, I don't know. For me, it's a tough shape for me to get into. So if you're like me and you're just this is enough for you right here, just stay here. Now, if you are in this cross-legged seated position and you're finding that it's really a struggle to keep a straight spine, you're having a hard time preventing this rounding. If you're finding this rounding like so, I want you to take either a couple of pillows or a couple of blankets and prop your hips up. Use as many as you need to help lift the hips up so you have some space to start hinging forward if that's where you get in your pose. Also, having the hips elevated will help keep that length in the spine. All right. Use as many as you need, as many pillows, as many blankets. If you've been practicing with me, you know that I love to use pillows and blankets because they're squishy. And so it gives your body the space to melt deeper into the pose whenever it's ready. So if you don't need to sit up on anything, that's great too. Just make sure you can sit down on the mat without any pain in any of the joints, especially your knees. All right, so another option you can do is just a simple figure 4 type stretch. Literally, you can just come right here. Maybe you cross one ankle above the knee and you stay here for the 2 to 5 minutes. This is a great place to start. Of course, you always want to switch it out. So after you hold the 2 to 5 minutes, you want to switch. Just make sure you keep that top foot flexed just to protect the knee joint. So that's a great place to stay there. Even if you're there and you need to sit up on a blanket, right? You're on the edge of a blanket to support your hips. And maybe you're here and the knee needs some support. You can always stack a block or 2 underneath your knee. Now, maybe going there is just not feeling the greatest. Again, you're propped up on a blanket, maybe you're propped on a blanket. This crossing of the ankle is just too much. You can start here. Bring the foot to the inside of your thigh. And maybe you can start here, starting to work towards that, feeling that lateral rotation. Maybe you start to stack a block underneath your foot to start feeling that lift that we find as we stack our shins one on top of the other. Okay, so those are some options that you can start right there. Now to get into the pose, we're going to start, we'll lay down the left shin first. So lay the left shin down the mat so it's in line with the edge of your mat. And then you want to work towards stacking the right shin on top. So even if you are here, maybe in the middle, and you're allowing the knee, so the knee is eventually going to drop this way. But even if you're here and you start to feel the stretch on the outside of the hips, you can stay right here. And you stay here for 30 seconds to a minute. And then you slowly start to crawl your foot over to the opposite knee. And right away, you start to feel the right knee or the top knee open, drop open more towards the right side and dropping down towards the opposite, the lower ankle. When you start to feel that, again, you can stay right here. I'm already starting to feel a good stretch here. So maybe I stay here for a little bit. Then you can play around with stacking a block underneath the knee. Maybe you start to get to where you stack another block underneath this other knee, just trying to get as close to the shape as you can. Remember, we have to build up that tolerance for our stretching as we work into these funky shapes. Hips especially, a lot going on in the hips, so we got to do some tough stuff to really get down in there and stretch even the deepest of the hip muscles. So, all right, so we're crawling over. We're starting to feel, all right, this is feeling pretty good. You can stay right here again. Maybe you can start working towards stacking one shin on top of the other. So if you're coming into this, getting closer to that double pigeon pose, the ankle is stacked on top of the knee, and then the knee on top of the bottom ankle. Make sure both feet are flexed. Again, we want to protect our knee joint. If you're here, you can stay right here, letting the knee float, because with the time that we spend in this stretch, again, that 2 to 5 minutes, you might find that this knee will just naturally lower towards the bottom foot. If you need support, you have your blocks that you can play around with stacking the blocks underneath. You also have your blanket, which is, again, my favorite prop to use, and then your pillow. You can always prop the pillow underneath the knee to support the knee. And as these muscles start to stretch out more, you'll create more space, and then the knee will start to drop down towards the bottom shin. So, and then just be mindful too, this bottom leg, if for some reason you find there's something going on in the bottom knee and you need to elevate the knee, maybe you need to elevate this bottom foot, all sorts of stuff going on here. You can do that as well. So just be very mindful of your joints and do what you need to do to support your body as it finds its way into this really deep hip stretch. So you're going to feel this on the outside of your hips, getting into those external rotators, got the abductors, the abductors, and then you also have your deep deep glute muscles. You have all sorts of things going on in here, which is very beneficial, again, to find that lateral external rotation in our knees. Now I want you to peek at in between your legs and make sure you have this triangle shape that you've created with your legs. And as you are here, again, for that 2 to 5 minutes, sometimes this bottom shin gets a little sneaky and starts to slide in towards the body, because that makes the stretch feel a lot easier and a little bit more comfortable. So if you do feel that, just heel toe your foot back out and allow the shins to stack one on top of the other. Now, if you start to find that this top knee is really starting to smush down towards the bottom ankle, and you need to go a little bit deeper to find that 7 out of 10 intensity, this is where you can deepen it. Lengthen up through the spine and start to hinge out and over the top shin. So think about leading with your chest and go until you start to feel that stretch will start to deepen and intensify as you hinge forward. Don't be in any hurry to get to this place. Again, staying right here, or even having that cross-legged seat position is perfect to build up towards this pose. So maybe you're hinging forward, you can relax or elbows on the top shin, palms turn up, using our nervous system hack here just to keep the rest and digest side of the nervous system turned on, which is what we want. Remind yourself muscles stretch best when they are relaxed. So we have a lot of tools that we can use here. You can relax right here. Maybe it's more comfortable to stay upright. You can just gently come up onto fingertips or gently plant your palms. Don't force anything. Sometimes this is really nice because the body feels supported. It'll relax a lot more in this space. Maybe you're coming forward. You can start to bring your hands forward, just gently let them rest on the ground. Maybe you have some blocks here and you want to use the blocks for your hands. You can always find some support for your hands or your forearms. Again, palms turn up. Now, if you are feeling super flexing, you're getting to where you've got lots of space and you're easily able to hinge forward. Again, you can crawl your hands out as far as you can go, palms turn up, and let the head hang. But you can also stack some blocks for your forehead, or you can come all the way down. Some people can come all the way down and want something for the floor to rest on. Or again, you can just lean forward like I am. There's so many different ways they can do this. Also, if you are here and you've got some stuff going on in the back and you've got yourself propped up and your back is still asking for some support, don't hinge forward. Maybe you have a chair out in front of you. You can gently rest your forearms on the chair, or maybe the edge of a couch or a table. Coffee table works really well as well. So we're really trying to get this shape in our legs and working on that external rotation. And of course, as you come out of it, come out very slowly and extend your legs long, shake them out, shake them out. You can punch above and below the knee joint just to break up that tension. And then of course, you want to go into the other side, 2 to 5 minutes here, and you've got your double pigeon. Now remember, when you're practicing this at home, you want to aim for at least 2 minutes holding in your poses. Now, I understand 2 minutes can be a bit much if you're trying to build up that tolerance. So my advice would be maybe to try first do 30 seconds, work up to that 1 minute, and then get up to that 2-minute mark. Each side, try and do the same time. So if you're holding 2 minutes on one side, do 2 minutes the other side. Unless one side is tighter than the other, then hold the tighter side for about 30 seconds, and that'll help us find that balance. So remember, this is a practice that we want to incorporate into our lives every day for the rest of our lives. So don't be in any hurry. Don't force anything. When you're in this stretching practice, you are really taking the time to essentially earn trust and build trust with yourself, with your body. The brain has a lot of influence over these stretches, and we'll start. There's a lot of communication going on with the body, and if you are in a manner where it's creating any kind of alert or any kind of danger signals, you're really going to find that you're fighting with the body to get anywhere into this stretch. So remember our breath, our 4-8 breathing, breathe through relaxed breath. Practice that as you're coming into this pose and you're melting deeper into it. Time and practice, you will get there. And every day it's different. So just meet your body where it's at, and be grateful for all that your body does and the movement that it does and these funky shapes that we get into. So, all right, that's your pose of the week. It's double pigeon. Like I said before, this practice with me in a hips class, you'll see it show up. I will see you in class again very, very soon. Happy stretching.